Hi, welcome to a special edition of Education Matters. We're discussing the reopening of our schools, searching for the new normal in public education in New Jersey. With me is Dr. Melissa McCooley from the Pineland Regional School District in Ocean County. Welcome, Melissa.
Thank you.
We spoke earlier in the year about how we adapted to the closing of schools pretty much overnight. Right now, it's a different scenario. I think it's more difficult, personally. We're talking about the reopening of schools. One of the recommendations that came out from the Department of Ed, and I think some districts are already doing this, or a lot were, was forming a committee to look at all the obstacles and all the things that you have to overcome. Did you do something like this?
So we did. We formed a committee before the guidance even came out. And then once the guidance came out, we expanded the committee. So as you know, I'm the superintendent in 2 school districts. So Pinelands is 7 through 12, and my elementary district is pre-K to 6. And we have surrounding school districts that all feed into Pinelands. So we made sure that they were a part of our team. We have about 60 people on the committee. And when we meet, some choose to Zoom in. They don't want to be in the same room for health reasons. And others are in the room. We meet in a very large room and we're able to social distance. But we have administrators, we have board members, we have parents, and some other staff members, and then the union representation is there as well.
Yeah, you do need to involve everyone in this process. From what I can see, there's three options: social distancing, in-person instruction with those social distancing protocols, which is difficult, a hybrid model of virtual and in-person, or completely virtual. Are you looking at all 3 of those? Because you may need all 3 of them at one point.
So we are, the work of our committee is confidential until it's released out to the public for many reasons, but we are exploring every option and it will be in our plan. And depending on the status of the state at the time of school reopening, that's the one that we're going to be using. At this point, we're told to have our plan ready by August 1st and to distribute that to parents. So we will be doing that, but we have created a detailed plan for all options: remote learning 100%, with students in a hybrid model. And, the other option, of course, would be for everybody to come back, which we are unable to do that in our area because of the amount of students we have. We don't have the space to accommodate the number of students that we have in our capacity.
What are some of the pluses and minuses for like a hybrid or virtual? I mean, a hybrid, I would think it would be difficult on the teacher to do almost 2 lessons for the same type of class.
So what we're considering is, with the hybrid, Group A would be Monday and Thursday, Group B would be Tuesday and Friday, and then Wednesday would be a day that everybody is virtual and a deep clean for our custodial maintenance committee. So the days that the student is not physically in on the B day, they're still required to log in and to watch the teacher teaching a lesson. So they would be new lessons each day. So they're either going to get it face to face, or they're going to be logging in and watching, the next day's lesson.
One of the things that I think surprised a lot of people, at least in education, is at least the superintendents I talked to, and surprised me a little. The masks weren't required for students. How are you dealing with the mask issue? Because I know some districts are trying to mandate it for most students.
So the biggest concern is the school bus right now. It's impossible to social distance on the bus, and masks are required. I did participate in a superintendent roundtable for Ocean County today via Zoom, and a good idea came out of that if a student does not want to wear a mask, they have to wear the shield. So we could give them the option of either or, but it's really difficult to get a 5-year-old with special needs to wear a mask all day at school. So it's difficult to get some of the teachers to want to wear a mask all day. So there are definitely challenges to that.
Social distancing, you mentioned it with the transportation. There's so many issues that come up. I was kidding with another superintendent. I don't think there's any small issue. Everything seems to be a big issue. How do you arrange the classrooms, lunches, getting kids into the school and staff into the school?
So if we were to go with an AB rotation, we have half the capacity in the building at one time. So that's going to help. The other piece is we ordered a machine that print out stickers so we can space people out, similar to the grocery store, where you have them separated. We've ordered additional furniture for some of our schools that we can put kids in other areas for lunch, and maybe having lunch in the classroom as opposed to in the cafeteria, or splitting that group. Some eat in the cafeteria, some eat in the classrooms. So we're really just trying to cover all bases so the kids are not close to each other or close to their teacher.
Um, One of the big concerns I think we all had was the special ed students. And now, like you said, you have all the grades. How are you dealing with that one? Because I think there's a lot of people who want to really make sure we're reaching the needs of all those students.
So backtracking a little bit, when we were 100% online for the second half of last school year, I got great feedback from parents in terms of our special education services. Speech services were delivered via Zoom. We really did the best that we could, but it can't go on forever. Special ed is a challenge because of their IEPs, and really they do have the need to be face-to-face. It's very difficult for them to do virtual learning. So we are looking at many options, and we are looking at bringing our severely special needs students in every day, except for the deep clean day. So we are looking at different models for them. When we separate into committees, each subgroup, for example, special ed, athletics, the high school, the junior high, they broke into subcommittees, and they're tasked with creating their own draft of the model for their department or school. And then I review them with the assistant superintendents, and then we come together and we're going to put that into one large plan with the feedback of the committee. And we also surveyed early on all of the parents and all the staff members to see what their needs were and what their constraints are going to be if we come back to school.
You mentioned a survey. Did you survey the parents to find out if some of them are fearful of sending their kids back to school? Some of them need to get back. They want the kids in school so that they can go to work. And maybe even some of the staff are a little fearful of coming back. Did you?
So that's exactly what we did. We surveyed the parents to see if option A were to happen, what would your feedback be on that? If option B were to happen, what is your feedback, and so forth. And then even the school bus, do you plan on providing your own transportation or using the school bus? And then with the staff, it was really more specific in terms of, if we are face-to-face, are you going to be able to come in? Do you have a medical condition? Because we need to plan around all of that.
And so what was the feedback from your parents? Were they in both camps?
It was interesting that,
and they don't want to send their kids to school?
No, it was interesting that in both districts, and then even the smaller districts, it's about 75% that said, yes, I would send them, and about 25 to 30% that said, no, I don't want to.
Oh, that's an interesting breakdown. But that's still a significant number, 25% that are nervous, so that may have to accommodate that. So what about, say we're all lucky and everything stays the way it is, and the kids are back in school in the first couple of weeks of September. What is to assess the students, both the social and emotional, and maybe even the academic needs of your students?
So social emotional, and some of your question cut out, so I'm going to try to answer it appropriately, but the social and emotional, we have had mental health experts on staff in both districts for quite some time. Our mental health expert that is part-time, he has actually still been working for us now remotely to help parents and staff members with any kind of issues they're having with, being constrained to a house, or, if they've had loved ones that have had some concerns. So we have a good staff available for mental health concerns. The academic concerns are going to be, they are, because we're behind. I feel like we're behind, being in online learning since March. We do need to assess our students to see where they are. We didn't take end of the year assessments. We didn't take state assessments. So we usually use that data to see how we did in the previous school year, and we don't have that information. So there definitely is a gap that we need to fill.
And, you've covered most everything, and I know it's going to be difficult, and what you tell me now might be different in September. What's the biggest challenge that you think you feel you're facing?
I think the biggest challenge is there's no good answer. That if we have the students home all the time, and the staff may feel safer that way, the parents are upset because their children are not in school learning and they have to work and they have childcare issues. if we have all the students in, then the staff has concerns that, their health is at risk. And, it's hard to create a comprehensive plan, not knowing day to day what's going to happen. I may have 95% of my staff in to begin in September. And then what if they start getting sick? How do I fill those holes? So there's so much unknown that we need to adjust day to day and just kind of go with the flow.
Well, I wish you good luck. I know this is going to be maybe the biggest challenge you ever had, and I can only say it wasn't covered in superintendent school.
No, it was not.
So good luck. I know you're working hard for the students in the Pineland Regional. And that brings us to the end of this program. And I hope you enjoyed this special edition of Education Matters.